Hello again, YouTube fam. It's Shakira, and this is Dark Angel's Journey. Thanks for joining me once again. Uh, so we can chat a little bit more about some stuff, about things around beginner traders and all of the pitfalls and things that we can fall into. Hey, one thing to note, my hair is back. I'm back. I'm back, baby. I'm back being extra sexy. Before we get started in anything just yet, just wanted to point out my new Bitcoin art. Thank you, Baltimore um, Corkworks, for hooking me up. A close friend of mine, Peichi, makes these by hand. I don't know if you can see it, but it's the Bitcoin symbol. It's my very first Bitcoin art, so yay! But anyway, so today I wanted to talk a little bit about how to get started as a beginner trader, right? Things that you should think about. So I'm going to just provide a few tips and things to consider as you're getting started. Also, let me know how the audio is looking. I'm using my headsets and I did a couple of tests and it sounded pretty good, but you never know until you guys are actually listening. So let me know how it sounds at that point. All right, so first things first, let's take a quick gander at Bitcoin. I feel like this weekend I haven't really felt very much like doing any kind of trading. So let's see. Ooh, let's make that a little less gross. Let's take a quick look here. So I was just looking at some levels and it looks like it's been kind of boring this weekend for sure. Definitely very boring. So honestly, when there's nothing going on, it's a great idea to just let it be. Wait until there's something more exciting, maybe even go check out some other coins and then, deal with that. All right, so let's let's ignore the charts for a moment and let's start talking about things that are super important for getting started as a trader, any type of trader, right? For me, I'm primarily focused on crypto for the moment, but that could change. Like I mentioned, I could dip into forex. So if crypto is kind of dead, you might want to go try something else. But let's take a step back from the actual trading first, right? And let's just talk about what we need to understand before we dive into this, right? So my first tip is, if this is your first run into, I apologize, if this is your first run into any type of trading, some things to really consider is finding appropriate training, right? And I really like this guy, Meet Kaplan's Learn How to Trade and Invest. So he's got a couple of really great playlists in here, and his link is in my description underneath, so you can find him pretty easily. But he's got some great stuff on price action trading strategies and smart money trading course. It's very detailed. He's even got all the docs shared on a Google Drive that's available for free. And watch them in order. There's literally a list that and let me click on this. Let me not get into a vid specifically. Let me do that. And let's just go take a quick look at I guess some folks were asking for a, like the chapters in order. So let me go grab that off of the Google Drive. Let's go over to his Google Drive really quickly. And I'm going to go into the price action strategies because he's got a number of things in here. This is all free, which is amazing. So definitely take advantage of it. So let's open up the table of contents for his thing, right? So this is great. So he's talking through price action strategies, right? So, before I started going through his vids, I wouldn't have even noticed, what a market structure break was or any of these things. And, if you watch them all in order, you start to be able to pay closer attention to the charts and understand where, you might be able to enter into a trade, right? So I strongly suggest that you go check these out. And it applies across the board, right? So it's the same and usable with Forex, crypto, commodities, futures, whatever it is that you're trying to trade. These It's super helpful. And he's not even halfway done yet. These are like the beginner stuff for price action. There's a whole bunch more that he's going to be doing for liquidity and all that jazz. But even with just these 11 lectures, and he's got a ton of example vids to go with it. Um, so definitely check them out. I found them to be very, very helpful. And the thing is, for me, I took actually paid for a trading course with Thomas Crollo, and actually found that to be very helpful too. And it's actually the 5-month course with him. So this is my transcript, and I'm about to take the final exam. But the program is very comprehensive, and he does cover a lot. And honestly, I'm super happy that I took this course because it took me to a whole new level um, when it comes to understanding, the psychology of things, market sentiments, you know, how to trade different, key levels, and setting up my own statistics and algorithms and things like that. So, this is in no way any kind of like shill for this training class. It's not. I'm just telling you what I did and what I found to be super helpful for me, right? So besides meat, I really, really enjoy, and again, all of these folks are in the links below. I really enjoy Traders Reality as well as YouTube people that I follow, because let's roll up onto this guy. So he's also got a number of really great vids as well. That's super helpful that I'm slowly finding um, actually have a ton of confluences with what Meet Kaplan's teaching as well, and what I learned with Thomas Crollo too. It's crazy, right? So, I would say check out his videos. He's got a really great set of indicators that's free for use if you've got TradingView. And I think he does something with MT4. I don't really know what that is, but it's just kind of another platform that he trades on for other things, but I don't use that at the moment. So um and just so I really enjoy his vids, and he's got a ton of things that explain the hybrid system. That's his system for trading. Um, he's got a Patreon, which I'm not a part of because I'm cheap. I've already paid for one training course. I'm trying to figure myself out before I go pay for other things. But this is another suggestion. Like I'd say, check out these guys and see what's going on from a just understanding the market perspective. And, the other thing is like you need to have some sort of platform to do all of this testing and back testing, and just kind of like trying to understand what the charts and the candles are telling you. So I like TradingView. I think most people use it now, and I am paying for one of the premium subscriptions, but I find it to be super helpful, and I'm slowly, slowly getting used to using it. And I think one other thing that I will put a note out there for you guys as well. There is a book that I just bought. I started reading, I think, like yesterday, and it's called Getting Started in Chart Patterns by Thomas N. Bulkowski. And I ignore my other reading. I read a lot. I read a lot, like a lot. But, I'm finding that, I'm reading all of this and it's helping me understand all the other things that I'm learning, that I've learned from Thomas Crollo, that I'm learning from Meet, that I'm, seeing with Traders Reality. So, just an example of something to read as a beginner trader. This is pretty good. I'll drop a link under the description for this as well. All right, so that's what I wanted to talk about in terms of training pieces, tips there. So let's talk a little bit more about like once you've figured out your trainings and all that jazz, like what exchanges you should use, right? Now, I like CoinMarketCap, um, and I think every crypto trader should know about CoinMarketCap. So this is probably not new to any of you. But if you wanted to like get some idea, and this is what I did when I was trying to figure out which exchanges to work with, not to mention um, all the folks that I followed, early on, like Thomas and Tino and Meet and some other folks, and they made suggestions. So it's a great idea to come in here and just click on the exchanges section. And of course, depending on where you are in the world, like, I'm in the US, so some exchanges aren't available to me for uses, well, for trading and for different types of trading. So depending on what you're trying to do, you should come in here, click on your exchanges and see what's going on. And, it lists them in order and gives you some good information about the fees, maker and taker fees, how many markets, for example, so how many coins and things that are available to trade. In this case, I'm looking at derivatives. So for those folks who are like me, trying to break into doing uh, leveraged style trading, you want to see which exchanges would be the best, for this type of thing. And in all honesty, you can come through here, take a look, see when they were launched, how long they've been in business, open interest, like how much, their volume they're trading on the platform. And Binance is by far insane. I mean, look at that. Wow. Right? So, I have Bybit, but if you're in the US, you have to use VPN for that. So I don't really use it very much. And actually also have Femex as well. That is in the US, so you don't need a VPN for that guy. And I'm also using BitGet. So I don't actually even, let me see, BitGet is number 30, right? So personally, I would take a look at all the ones that are in the top, like 50, even 100. I probably wouldn't bother. Oh, it looks like there's only 45 on this list. So never mind, I guess I was thinking about coins when I said that, so ignore me. So BitGet is 30 on this list. It's not the worst. There's still a decent amount of interest in there. It's been going for a number of years here since 2018, so I feel relatively comfortable. Femex is a little bit higher up on the list here. It's number 9 actually, with even more interest, and it's available in 35 markets, and they've been around a little bit. So Beacon's been around longer than Femex. Fascinating, but they have more volume. Looks like, yeah. But those are the two I'm using. I like it. I think Bybit is pretty sweet as an exchange as well. So those are my favorite. I use FTX for just general purchasing, but I sometimes get a little irritated because FTX US, which is the one I have to use, that one's there's a spread between if you're just buying crypto to hold. So like the price might be a certain amount. Let's say Bitcoin's at, let's see, it's 19,754 right now. And then I want to buy like $50 worth of Bitcoin. It doesn't matter, $50, $100, whatever. There's a spread. So the difference between the buy and ask orders is a little wider on FTX. So I only ever get it. So if it's 754.5, they might sell it to me for 19,754.5, which is what it is right now. They might sell it to me for 19,780. You know what I mean? So that's my only irritation. But FTX is, as you can tell, the second largest exchange out there, which is pretty sweet. So definitely check them out. I also use, and I don't know if any of you were caught in the Voyager thing, because I was, and I'm actually, so if you were, we're on the same boat. Hopefully they work their stuff out and we get our money back. I'm happy that they've given us or cash back. So took that out immediately. But for originally I really loved buying my stuff on Voyager because there was no additional, cost. But of course there's cost to remove it. So FTX is the flip side of that, right? There's this the spread to buy it, but there's nothing to take it out, which is nice. And they give you free crypto if you use the FTX US for spot. So, but the crypto is usually like Doge or something small like that. But anyway, so definitely come in here and look at the exchanges. Make sure they've got pretty good volume going for the last 24 hours. Because then that means that they're not likely to go under tomorrow. Because we've seen a lot of these smaller exchanges just kind of going under. So you want to just make sure that you're doing your trading on something that's gonna take good care of you. Um, so let's see, and I'm keeping notes so I can stay on track this time, guys. All right, so let's talk a little bit about. I'm gonna slip since I'm at CoinMarketCap. So for folks who are buying stuff, you can keep. I like holding on to a portfolio, and I don't have a ton of money in here, but I like to update. I use CoinMarketCap to kind of like manage my portfolio across the board. And this is for things that I'm holding, right? So, so it's good for me to see because I can come in here and add how much Ethereum I'm buying, um, and see how much profit and loss I am at, right? Which is great because, if you click on my Ethereum, oh, sorry. Actually, again, if you're just a holder, you can come to CoinMarketCap and do a ton of research on what you're about to buy because doing your own research and knowing what you're getting into is your responsibility. It's each of our responsibilities to make that happen. So coming in here is great because you can get the white paper, you can go to their website, you can see what's up with the, how much big of a community. You can see the contracts that they have available. They have more. There's a ton of information on how it's been trading over the years, market cap, the candle charts. There's even a live chat, which I've never really like paid super close attention to. And then they'll give you even more information about what it is, right? What it is, who are the founders, what is the name service, whatever the heck that is, all this stuff. So it's just a great platform, I think CoinMarketCap is. Let me scroll down a little bit here, past. Right. And then, it has these like price estimates. I don't know that I think these are like super on point. You guys, drop something in a comment and let me know what you think about that. But, I like it because I can get points with CoinMarketCap, but, the diamonds, but I don't know that I put much stock into these because the market's going to do what the market's going to do, right? And then here's a nice little piece where you can tell where Ethereum's being traded, markets. There's a bunch more, of course, but you can take a look here and see where you can go buy it as a hodler, and then even more if you want to, do perpetual for day trading via USDT, then you can go see where you can get it. And of course, you can click that to get the remainder. And then this is nice, right? Like it's just a nice place to see all the news that's coming out for Ethereum because we know the merge is coming and everybody's like super excited and there's a lot of FUD potentially going around about Ethereum. So, and then of course, people always still watch all these other things. So it's just a great spot to kind of check the news and track what's going on. I like it. Plus, this is where I kind of learned about all the different cryptocurrencies and the communities and exchanges and things. So I, I like it. So definitely check that out. Right. Um, let's see. So once you've picked your exchange that you want to go on, see, and as a new trader, right, see if that exchange also has, and I'm going to go over to BitGet as an example here, see if the exchange also has like a paper trading or a demo trading feature. Femex has one, BitGet has one, and this is a good place for you to start testing out your strategy as you're building out, um, your methodology and procedure for trading in these markets, right? And I like the BitGet space because they also use trading views, so then that also, or at least a version of it, and you can, there's a ton of these indicators in here that you can add in and do your stuff in here. So it's not going to have all the custom community ones or things like that, but the stock stuff will be in here. And me personally, before I enter into any kind of trade, I'm going to go over to TradingView that I'm already paying for and do my analysis here and then head over. But for beginner traders, please, once you've done your training, right? Once you've have a better understanding about the trading and the markets and how those things work, then for the love of everything, find a good spot to do a little paper trading for a couple of months, just to like hone your skills, right? And also to get to know that platform as well. I'm sorry, guys, I gotta like plug my laptop in, but yeah, that's like super important. So let's like take a quick look at some of the features, right, of trading on, say, Bitkit. And the one thing I've realized is that a lot of these exchanges are gonna have a lot of the same type of features. They might even be laid out almost the same, right? So I'm not gonna do a whole Bitkit tutorial because other folks have done that, and I can like, put a link in there for you if you want to take a look at that. But a few things that I wanted to note, so as you're doing your trading and you're trying to understand what things are, right? Um, so this is like your screen for just, over here, I'm in the demo account right here. So there's an S in front of it. So um, what are we calling that? Well, it's the demo account. I don't know what the S in front of it means, but I don't, so it's not like super important, I don't think. Anyways, as long as you know it's not real money. But a few things to note, right? So you come in here over this section here to pick who you want to play with. In this case, they're going to give us some fake BTC, some fake ETH, and EOSS, whatever that is. Never seen that. I have no idea what that is. But up here, you can see USDT M futures, right? Coin M futures, USDC futures, and a few other options that I'm not going to go into because I'm not using them as yet, and I don't know as much, so I can't be telling you too much about those, right? But at the top here, you'll see that we have the market price, the index price. So it's hilarious because I feel like the market price and the index price, they're always a little off, right? And I'm not entirely sure why that is. I don't know if that's the spread between the two, the buy and the ask. Um, but definitely something for me to get to look up and figure out. I do like that they throw in the high and the low for the day in here, so that's nice. And then the volume that's been trading for BTC. So it looks like 10,735 BTC has been trading for the last 24 hours. I mean, it's not terribly a ton, but still. And then, of course, the funding rate. So I think funding rate, as in how much is available for leverage trades, right? So I guess how much the market maker is available to give you for your leverage trades. If I'm wrong about that, please put it in the comments and I will correct myself. Okay, so let me get out of that. So over here we have the order book, and this is kind of nice, so you can see what you know the bid and the ask are. Um, Bid and the ask, yeah. So the buy and sell. So if you're seeing like a ton of money, a ton of like BTC in here, then you might think, oh, so maybe that number, that price might have a ton of interest. And I would technically just use this as corroboration for any trade entry. After you've already done um, all of your planning and preparation and all that jazz. So that's how I'd use that. But and then on the right here, so there's this thing called isolated versus cross, right? So cross means that if I have 100 USDT in my account and I put a trade in, and if by some awful bad luck I get liquidated, it would, or I come close to being liquidated for a trade, it would take out all of my money in that account. It would use all of it to cover that liquidation, right? So I personally would suggest don't ever use that, like ever, like ever, 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 ever. I don't know. Some people are crazy, some people are not. I don't know, but I know I'm not touching it. Isolated is better, right? So isolated it will be based off of what you've chosen to use for that. So if I'm using 100 USDT, then all I can get liquidated is that 100 USDT, not everything else, everything in my account. Plus, one thing to note, like I do like that they let you choose your leverage, right? So your leverage multiple, as they call it here, right? Um, so you can limit that. So I'm currently using 3 for my real training, right? And as soon as I get more comfortable, I'll probably move that up to 5, and I might even use 10. But think about the higher the leverage that you use is the lower is the closer your liquidation price or dollar value is going to be, right? So if I were to use 100x or 125 is the maximum big get, then my liquidation might be super close versus my 3x. My liquidation is way down the road, around the bend. You can't even see it. You see me? So that's why I think it's really important to be careful with how much you choose, because as a beginner trader, you might not understand that you picking 50x leverage on your long, and big X is nice because you get to pick, you know, liquidation leverage on the long versus leverage on the short. You get to pick, those two can be different things. Boom. So, as a beginner trader, that's something that's really important to recognize, right? Like, don't over leverage, use small amounts, because the more you're thinking, yeah, I'm going to get $1 million today. Yeah, that's a bad idea. You see me? Bad idea. Because 50x, you've made a bad decision. The market turns on you. Maybe you're not paying attention to the charts. Maybe you haven't set a stop loss, which is bad business. So I don't care who you are, what you're doing. Risk and money management is most important. You see me? So important. So please, for the love of everything, don't forget that. But just remember, guys, the higher your leverage is the shorter your liquidation price becomes, depending on how much you're using, right? So the closer your liquidation price is the more likely that you will get liquidated and lose your shirt, even if you're using isolated. So if you want to keep your money in your account so you can grow it, please, at least, until you understand what's going on, and then do what you want after that, keep it small as a beginner, right? Keep it small so you have a lot more room to breathe, right? All right. Okay. Let's see, what else did I want to cover? Okay, so this part's kind of boring, and I'm not gonna lie, it's super boring. But you got to keep your trading journal. You got to keep one. You got to keep a trading journal, and you've got to, have something. Um, like I'm updating mine today because I need to put in all of the trades that I took recently, and keep them up to date. Actually, I'm going to take out these guys, but because those are copy trading, and it's just pretty terrible. But if you can keep your trading journal up to date, make good notes about what you why you got into the trade, why, like for example, I got stopped out, set small stop on purpose just to be sure, and then re-entered with tiny amount to test, um, stop loss hit, closed early thinking the market would not get to take profit, that kind of thing, right? And for when you make bad decisions, like entered into a short and strong up trade, bad bad decision for me, right? So make some notes that make sense for you and keep it up to date, because then that'll give you some idea as to what's a good time for you to trade, what's a good time, what's a bad method, in terms of your methodology. You might want to tweak it if that's not working for you. And then keep like the day and time as well, because then that'll tell you, like, if you're winning on specific days, like, Thursdays seems like a good day for me. I made a bad decision during the last FOMC to take a short off ETH, and it was like it was going well up. It almost hit $2,000 that day, and I was really salty. But I took a 23 USDT hit on that one. But that was a bad decision on my part. You see me? And then the rest of this is copy trading stuff that I really need to not use. Um, Copy trading is basically using, letting somebody else who's a trader, and Bitget has a nice feature for it, and you can pick somebody in here and, check their stats. Like, let's see this golden top person. You can check their stats and see how much they've gained and lost over a certain period of time. You can check the things. I think they let you go up to a month and see, wow, they're doing pretty well. It looks like they've got 1,000 followers. They must have increased their slots, and they've probably got a ton of assets that they're like tracking, and you can do that. But I'm going to be honest with you. I did it and I got burned. And that was my fault because I didn't understand, again, how to set up the risk and money management piece for copy and trading. So I'll probably do like a separate video for that. But just to give you an idea, since I did mention it, right, I might as well say something. Let's see. So we've talked about the training, we talked about exchanging. And we kind of mentioned that, CoinMarketCap is a great spot for, where is that window? That is a great spot for if you're building your portfolio and you're investing versus day trading. It's a good spot to do your research and plop your portfolio in here so you can track how well it's doing. Honestly, what? By the way, did y'all get? I'm sure you guys got hurt with the Terra Luna thing. I'm in the red on that too. I feel my heart goes out to everybody who wasn't heavily invested in that, because wow. And I got in here late too because I'm pretty new to the space. Um, about 9 months in at this point. So, but just wanted to point that out. Let's see. Oh, and one last thing. And again, everything I'm mentioning here is stuff I'm doing, I'm using, right? I would find, if you've got your crypto on any exchanges, um, how should I say this? If it's sitting on an exchange, it's not your crypto. Okay. So, just like with Voyager, some of my Bitcoin is sitting on there, some of my Ethereum, some of my other things that I couldn't find elsewhere on like Coinbase or FTX or whatever. So I could find it on Voyager. So I bought it there and I didn't move it off fast enough. So now I'm like, my crypto, I bought it at such good prices too. You know what I'm saying? So, it's best to find the hardware wallet of your choice, and move your crypto over to it, especially if you're doing the more long-term holding, right? Which I'm doing for my little tiny investments. But, I'm buying it, and look at my average price for Ethereum. I still haven't been able to get it under 1,000. But hey, once it hits 10K, and I'm sure it will eventually, I'm still making good money on it. So, mwah, you know. Anyway, so find a hardware wallet that works for you. I'm currently happy to use Ledger. It works just fine for me. So just remember, if it's sitting on an exchange, it's not your crypto, because your keys are not your own. They're sitting over there. So just pay attention to that. All right, guys. I think that's long enough vid. I'm sure that was fun. Once again, I'm going to say thanks to Baltimore Corkworks for hooking me up with my very first crypto art piece. And now the back of the wall is not so boring. Let me know down in the comments how the audio is, and let me know if these longer vids are a bit too much for you guys. But there's a lot of things that I wanted to kind of pack into this video for first time traders, some good tips for training, and I didn't want to shirk on that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm doing the same thing, and I want to share my journey with you guys as well. That's the whole point. That's why it's called Dark Angel's Journey, right? Exactly. By the way, check out my dragon. Isn't my dragon? Isn't it cool? Yeah. I'm gonna have to get some more anime shirts to wear. But right after this, after I'm done, I'm gonna get you guys sorted out. I'm gonna go watch some One Piece. I have about 15 episodes to catch up on. Yes, binge watching time. But in the meantime, please like and subscribe. I appreciate you all. You enjoy this Labor Day if you're in the US. Love you folks. Shakira out.